Hi, I'm Seno. And I'm here to tell you more about my Korean learning story when I studied Korean in the US. So 오늘은 좀 지난번에 했던 이야기 이어서 미국에서 한국어를 어떻게 공부했는지에 대해서 더 많이 알려드리도록 하겠습니다. So first, last time I talked about using watching dramas as listening practice, and at the end, actually, I had a problem with my memory card, so a little bit got cut off. So I'll just start from there. Yeah. So last time I talked about watching dramas and how I studied by watching them. How I studied by myself by watching dramas. I can't speak English anymore. 그래서 지난번에는 한국 드라마들을 보면서 혼자서 공부하는 것에 대해서 알려드렸는데요. So this time I'm going to talk about active listening and when you're learning a language, how important listening practice is. So I heard this was recommended to me to listen to many hours of the language you want to learn before you even start formally studying it. And I didn't do it on purpose, but I just ended up doing that somehow because I was watching dramas for so many dramas for hours and hours of dramas. So I was getting hours and hours of listening practice from the very beginning. 그래서 저는 일부러 그러려고 한 그런 생각 없었는데 그냥 한국 드라마를 좋아해서 엄청 수많은 시간 동안 엄청 많은 한국 드라마들 보게 됐어요. 좋아하니까 그렇게 됐는데 원래 이런 추천을 받았거든요. 어떤 언어를 배우고 싶을 때 수많은 시간들 먼저 적극적으로 이렇게 책으로 배우기 시작하기 전에 수많은 시간 동안 듣기 연습하면 되게 좋다고 들었어요. 제가 그러려고 한 생각도 없었지만 그냥 그렇게 하게 된 거예요. 그래서 저한테도 엄청 좋은 도움이 됐던 것 같아요. So I think, but I wasn't just listening. I was actively listening. And what active listening is really focusing and paying attention to the way each word is said and what its meaning might be. So I hadn't formally learned the language, but as I was listening, I would try to match up what they were saying with the exact words of the translation in the subtitles. So 제가 보면서 이렇게 적극적으로 듣기 연습이 되도록 엄청 집중하면서 봤어요. 그냥 재미로 보는 거 아니라 진짜 집중하면서 듣기 연습이 되도록 봤어요. 그래서 이렇게 자막 나올 때 영어 해석한 영어하고 듣고 있는 한국어 이렇게 맞춰서 의미를 맞춰보려고 그렇게 했었어요. 그래서 물론 재미로 보고 있었지만 그렇게 집중하면서 봤어요. So I would also so I hadn't learned any words, right? But later on, when I did start studying with Korean friends, having them teach me and the vocabulary, the grammar, it made total sense because I had listened to all these hundreds of hours of Korean, and even though I didn't know the meaning of each word perfectly, later on when I studied those words, I was like, oh yeah, I know that word and I know how to say it because I've heard it so many times in the drama. 나중에 한국 친구하고 공부하기 시작했을 때 그때는 단어, 어휘하고 문법 배웠을 때 수많은 시간 동안 듣기 연습했던 그 한국말 기억나는 거예요. 그 단어가 이렇게 발음하면 맞다고 그렇게 엄청 더 쉽게 더 빠르게 배웠었던 것 같아요. And so I was able to learn vocabulary and grammar and pronunciation much faster because I had heard it so much, and so all of a sudden those words, those sounds started coming back to my mind, wait, what am I saying? What's the expression in English? They started coming to mind as I was actually learning it with my Korean tutors. 그래서 그때는 한국 친구하고 공부를 했을 때 그 그 수많은 시간 동안 들어봤던 한국어를 갑자기 떠오른 거예요. 그래서 이렇게 완벽하게 발음, 억양 그리고 의미까지 이렇게 합쳐서 완벽하게 잘 기억할 수 있도록 실제적으로 실천해서 사용할 수 있도록 제 입에서 말하기도 할 수 있도록 그렇게 된 거예요. 완벽하게. So I was able to actually say and use the Korean that I was learning with my Korean friends later because I had combined that correct pronunciation and flow and with the meaning of the word and the actual way to write the word. So everything completely perfectly matched up, and I was able to learn vocabulary and grammar and actually use it and speak it myself. 그래서 처음에는 이렇게 엄청 많은 듣기 연습하는 게 되게 좋은 도움이 되는 것 같아요. So when you do a lot of listening practice at first, it can be extremely helpful to you. So if you're watching dramas, keep watching them, but watch them actively. Try to match up the meanings. Try to really listen to the sounds that you're hearing. The sounds you hear over and over again. Try to practice those with your own mouth, even though you don't know what you're saying. 그래서 지금 한국 드라마 보고 계신 그런 지금 외국인 분들이 제가 한국말로 하니까 한국말로 할 그게 없긴 한데 외국인 분들이 그 한국어를 배우려고 하는 외국인 분들이 지금 그 드라마 보고 있으면 아주 적극적으로 집중하면서 듣기 연습을 제대로 그렇게 봤으면 되게 그런 거 추천합니다. Okay, so that was all. This video was all about active listening. So in order to actively listen, you need to try to match up the sounds or the words that they're saying in Korean with the meaning, and also practice repeating after them and with the same sounds, same pronunciation, and same flow of the way they say it, same tone of the way they say it. You may feel silly at first, but I promise you, it really does help for later when you start studying it formally from a book or a website. 그래서 지금까지 하나 둘 새로움이었습니다. So that was my video on active listening, and next time I'll tell you more about how I studied with my Korean friends. 그래서 오늘은 적극적인 듣기 연습에 대해서 이야기를 해드렸는데요. 다음 시간에 미국에서 한국 친구들하고 어떻게 공부했는지에 대해서 알려드리도록 하겠습니다. 다음에 봐요. See you next time. Bye.